Caliber, how are we doing, my friend? How are you doing today?
What up? What up?
Hello, 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 hello. So, here we go. This is probably, I think this may be the first or the second time we've ever done a one-on-one for the Royal Talks. At least, this is the first time we have you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Caliber, why don't you tell us a little bit about you personally? Not Steven, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
There we go. My bad. Now I was fixing a few things. Well, a lot of people know who I am. Obviously, Caliber. I roleplay as Steven Morales. No, multi-millionaire demon of the group.
Jesus.
Yeah. What you want me to say, bro?
No, of course, of course. And it's always been a pleasure, you know, guys, as we first started the Royal Talks, or not even the Royal Talks, just the Royal Mafia in general, even Zoo Mafia. When we introduced Caliber, you know, he was the help. He wasn't
Yeah, the
he
help.
wasn't an associate. I don't think you ever were actually an associate.
No, I was literally the fucking help.
Yeah. So whenever we first encountered Steven, you know, Steven, I didn't really see Steven around the city that much. It was kind of just like, you know, out of nowhere you'd see Steven, and he's like, you know, at the time whenever I first met him, I was just like, okay, well, this guy's just, you know, he's just chilling with us. I was like, okay, you know, Steven was a grinder, but he knew how to do it properly. Because the way that I met Steven, he was very smart. He knew how to make money. He knew how to keep money. But the best thing that I liked about Steven is that not only did he you know, he was very efficient, but he always left a mark. You know, every time it was always like there's something about whenever we'd hang out. Anything. Like you could be chilling and then it'd just be like some dumb joke about Lambo footies and it'd just be like you know
My
what I mean?
goddamn Lambo fitties.
It was always good. And I think that's what makes Steven kind of stand out towards me personally, is that it's like it's different. It's not like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry that you meet in the server. Steven has character. That's what I like. So Steven,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about Steven's backstory. Like, where did Steven come from?
So I've obviously been playing Steven for a good part of a couple years now. So how I roleplay the character, he actually has him and his brothers pretty much like the yin yang. His brother I play as, and I really don't bring him around on a lot of servers, that being Jose, and he roleplays as a cop, and he does a straight arrow one, but he's still an idiot because he's related to Steven. Now Steven, on the other hand, how the character's background goes is that
I
they
love this podcast.
both fled from Mexico. They're both immigrants from Mexico, leaving, you know, growing up with the cartel and everything that was going on down there with his family being killed. Escaped to Los Santos to find a new opportunities. Obviously, Steven went on the route of messing with the wrong crowd, falling into the same shit, just in a new place. And, you know, Jose went the straight and narrow, becoming a cop.
Top master.
I roleplay as Steven was a vago for a long time. Got essentially forced into a cartel. That ended up, you know, we roleplayed it as like a Rico case came, and Steven obviously was super rich and was the richest person, equivalent to like, I don't know, Mr. K or Lang or something, to the point of that money and having that much power. When the Rico case came out, I had the money and the resources to essentially disappear. And that's how I play it. Steven is left for long periods of time, doesn't know what happened to his last crew with the Rico case that happened. And, you know, now he's back in NoPixel. So the story picks up.
Dude, that is sweet. Actually, though.
Mm-hmm.
How did Steven's parents die?
When they grow
What's
up
up,
in the
Scotty? What's up,
cartel, that
baby?
was the whole reason of them immigrating from Mexico to the US or Los Santos.
That's freaking sweet, dude. Actually, though, I don't know. It kind of like paints a story in my head, you know, like, and I think that's exactly what a backstory should do. Is
Yeah.
you know, right? Like you can feel that, you know, if you're ever a kid right? And your teacher was reading a book to you.
Hmm.
And if they were a good teacher and they read a decent book, it paints a picture in your head, and you think about like, hey, like if this was a movie, this is what's happening. That's what you just did. So
Yeah, I mean,
I
there's
think
little
that's I
details
think you
to
did
it
good work.
too. There's a lot of things. If you notice how I play Steven now, there's a lot of little things. I throw hints about his past, about the South Side rat, pretty much. That being all the experience he grew from being a full flesh second in command of the Vagos, so he knows the South Side very well when it comes to, especially around Jamestown, all the nook and crannies that you're able to jump in. That's where you learn about drugs, how to push them, and learning how to launder very well. And that was the whole reason why the cartel took an interest, and we role played it as the cartel essentially using a chip to take me from. They made a deal with the owner of the Vagos to pretty much poach me, and then we role played it as the cartel taking my family and using them as keeping them hostage for me to go out and help
Oh,
them with
like
their
leverage.
laundering.
Yeah.
Yeah, as leverage, pretty much to uh, you know help them with their organization, because this is the equivalent of them. It's like how Chain Gang was, where they control a lot of businesses, but they
They're
didn't know
like the
anybody
head
how to launder
honchos.
money.
They're like the head honchos.
Yeah, they didn't know how to launder money. Obviously, I know how to launder money very well, and I've role played
It
that
really
as
is.
now that I'm very well with money. I'm very smart of how I do my shit. I'm very quick, and I cover my tracks when it comes to very heavy situations and shit.
No, I like that, and it really makes Steven, that's what I said before. He's not
Mm-hmm.
just good with money. He's got some character. He's got some story there, and that's what's good. That's what I like. Um, so before RM, obviously, we know that you're a Vago. Were you
Yep.
second in command while Speedy was there,
No,
or was
this
this
is before.
before?
This is before.
Oh, okay. So why the change? Why did you want to move away from the South Side life?
I mean, it goes with the character's progression, leaving from them, and then that's why when I first was hanging out with Sid and all them, I used to say, wearing this red suit, the red suit with the red tie, the black suit with the red tie, is actually a indication of Steven's way past, because that's literally what he used to wear when he was
As
in
Cartel.
as cartel. And whenever I was wearing the red suit, that means something was going on at the point, like we're out doing some shit. If not, there is another cartel outfit that I do wear that I used to wear day to day. The more the suit with the red tie was more an indication that something important was going on with me at the time.
I kind of like that. It's almost like I never put this hat on unless someone's gonna die. And then
Yeah,
I like that. That's so cool. Morales Matt's co, right? Isn't
that's
that
the
your
material
business?
company.
So explain it. What's going on with that? Have you been making deals? Have you been having
As
Harry hit you up? What's going on?
bro, with the fucking material game, how it is now with paying gold panning, just pretty much killed the material game. So everything just came to a complete stop.
You heard it here,
So
folks. The Mandem, they ruined the material game.
they really did.
The next war is going to start between the Royal Mafia and Mandem over materials. Oh, God.
Now the other company that I used to run was the taco shop, and actually that was located in, you remember, if you probably will know where it's at. It's in the corner of Strawberry and Carson. It's by that the LS the Ballers gas station is.
Of course, yeah.
Across the street, there's like a dealership, that Mosley's whatever.
Yeah,
In
the
front
Albany
of
one, yeah.
Yeah, in front of there's a little taco shop with a yellow
Yeah, that
paint
used to
around
be
it.
the old weed spot.
Yeah, it used to be the actual taco shop back in 2.0 and stuff.
Yeah,
So
the
I used
taco
to run
shop.
that in the old server, and that was the main place where I used to launder money, because
Old
I
server being
ran.
2.0.
No, this being Greenleaf back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So I used to launder money through that, because that business was only cash on hand. It wasn't no bank transfers and other shit, compared to my other businesses where they're legit. That one was like legit, but that one we used to use as a front, so I could launder my money through.
Smart. I mean, the more avenues you move the money through, the cleaner it gets, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it'll never be 100% clean. It's impossible. Um, well, you know what? That's your way of laundering the money eventually once, I'm gonna say it. Everyone's thinking it. Once we get registered, at some fucking point, it's gonna happen. But when we do, and we start hitting banks again, that's when I think everything's gonna start lifting off very, very much more. Because right now it's really hard to get codes. It's not easy to get codes.
Very difficult.
But when we get to the point where we can legitimately do this and just hit them when we want, that's when we're going to start doing our plans. That's when we're going to start doing our super elaborate heists, things that we can actually get into. So that's why having all these little businesses around, and which is why I want to start one, but I just have no goddamn time. I'm going to try to figure something out. See if I can work with somebody from the family, maybe get like Georgia and Ho involved, and maybe I can be like the male front of the like nail salon, just like some stupid thing, be hilarious. But I think
that's why I'm so trying to push the food business, or even just the material one, because it makes it really easy to launder money through.
True. I mean, I think once we all have avenues though, especially with Ian and the chess. I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I think it'll be good. So that brings me on my next topic. A little bit of different. The future of RM. Plans. What do we got going on, baby? What do you got? What do you got for us? What do you have behind the scenes? What do you have? What do you know?
I can confirm, everybody, I'm not leaving. I know a lot of people know, and I've said it sometimes in my stream, that I've had people, obviously I hear stuff all the time. I get DM'd with, why don't you ever think about the way you act and the way, you role play, and, you could join pretty much any group on the server. Why don't you do that? And I've been offered before, but I'm just happy where I'm at. I'm very hard to meet new people, and first person I actually met by my own was Sid and Fatoni. And Sid offered me, and through that olive branch, I was like, hey, do you ever want to hang out? Just let me know, blah, blah, blah. And then that's where it became, I didn't take it serious at first. And then I started, pushing to hang out more and more. That's when I met all you guys from Zoo Mafia later on. That's why me and Sid always say Maldini gang and all this other shit, because that's originally where we met from. But yeah, I have no plans. I have no plans of leaving Royal Mafia. I'm planning to stay here until by the way, the day that we fucking get out and we get registered, or we get flagged. It'll be fucking crazy. Like I'm here from the start. I have no plans of ever leaving, and I want to motivate everyone who is here to the same mindset.
100%, and I'm the same way, right? Like, I'll tell you all 100%, like 10 times during the day. I don't know what the future for Bubbles is, but I'm going to tell you right now, the future of Bubbles is going to be with RM, and it's going to stay with RM, because we didn't start this shit from the ground up to just walk away from it. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Quick little queen break, one moment. All right, baby, we're back. By the way, I just want to make this clear to everybody, just so you know, for the next 4 days, your boy Caliber and I, subs is 25% off, gifted subs, everything.
Subs do.
It's true. And I promise you will not be disappointed if you sub to both of us, 25% off. Thank you. Steven, Caliber, we know.
Yeah.
This is what needs to happen. It's a partner push month for you. Is it not? If I'm not mistaken, this is what we're doing. We're pushing for your partner this month, aren't we?
It'll happen when it happens, man. I've been on the grind for a long time.
Let's make it happen, Shaq. Come on. We need to be rating
consider
Steven
this
all
a
the
strong
time.
hobby, but it happens. It happens. You know what I mean? I've been grinding for a long time. I haven't lost my hope of becoming a partner, so one day it will happen eventually.
For 1 year, dude. It was your 1 year. 100%, dude. And if I can help you out in any way, I'm going to do it. I try to as much as I absolutely can. So I think it's time for Steven to start some real nasty content here. I think it's been too long since our last war, and I'd like to see Steven go up to Tommy T and call him a bitch. I'm just kidding. But there's definitely got to be something. I think the next person to start the war, it's got to be Steven.
I'm usually the one who's trying to avoid conflict.
Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, you know what? It kind of comes to like the current state of the server. I'm so happy that everybody got away from that war meta.
Yeah, that's what I was like when I used to play around 2.0. It was like there was a build up in the storyline, or storyline being the groups and everyone before it became to something like a war going off, and it was something more meaningful to have a war rather than I pointed a gun at
It's your
Bubbles,
birthday?
so we're in war
What?
now.
It's
You know
your
what I mean?
birthday?
People just jump to
I
that
love you.
mindset
Happy
quick.
birthday, Poopy.
And I
What
think
the
it's
fuck?
because of them thinking like, oh, it's easy content, easy views, and it's very stupid mindset to be in, rather than building a story up before uh to the actual push to it.
Well, and that's the thing. And that's what I strongly believe in is war is inevitable. It's going to happen. It's just as simple as conflict, whether that's driven strictly IC, whether it's not. People go to war. And it's almost impossible to avoid it. For example, the only reason we went to war with the Mandem was because one, it was an absolute fucking content, like it was filled with content. It was amazing. Not that we did great, whatever, but my
Getting to experience it.
main plan for that war is I knew we were gonna lose. I didn't think we were gonna, like, come on. They have an unlimited supply of guns, and they just started gold panning. They got cash. But here's the deal. I had the plan of, showing the whole server that you don't need to be afraid to throw in the towel when, you need to. That's just the way it is, right? Like, I wanted to show everybody that it's roleplay at the end of the day, and that the Royal Mafia as a whole, we can take an L and bounce back from it. And that's what we need to do. And that's what we did. At the end of
Yeah,
the day,
I think a lot of
it's
people don't
okay.
understand that concept. Like, during a lot of wars, people say, "Oh, we're not giving up. We're just gonna fucking continue. It's just after the third, fourth day, it just becomes fucking stupid. First, for smaller groups, it becomes a money strain thing. That's what happened during that
Happy
we know
birthday,
about,
Poopy. Happy birthday,
confirmed through the
buddy. How
Mortel,
old are
was
you now?
that
20?
they had no money and their leader did not care. They just wanted to put that fucking pride up first, and we're gonna continue this fucking war because I have a fucking ego. People just gotta know when to throw the towel in. When people talk about wars, they're like, oh, Royal Mafia won this, and that. I was like, yeah, they fought. You know what I mean? It's just when time moves on, people just forget.
100%. You think anybody's going to go, oh, hey, you remember about that time that Mandem went to the war with the Royal Mafia over them landing on the compound? Crazy. No.
Yeah, and I think people that are over just
It doesn't leave a
extend.
mark.
Yeah, it's just stupid. I think it shows more respect, especially with a bigger group. Us being a smaller group is knowing when to throw the towel in. There's no reason to continue a war. If you're losing, or this is becoming too much, people got to know when to throw the towel in and when to
Exactly.
just call it. But people put their ego up front and be like, "No, we're not stopping this," and then wars goes on for like fucking 2 or 3 months, and it's just
Well,
stupid.
and that was the thing with the whole Mandem war is I just wanted everyone to know, like, hey, guys, I know we could probably keep going. I know we probably have a little bit more money, but why just run everything dry and just make good content out of it? I mean, probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen was Jacob actually apologizing to the camera because it was hilarious. But like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's for the story. It's all about the RP. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Do you agree, Jeannie?
Uh, yes, roleplay is important on a roleplay server.
Thank you.
I agree.
Well, no shit.
I, yeah, yeah.
Well, it's just
I
at
don't,
the
I
end
don't
of
really
the
know which. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
you're chilling. I mean, at the end of the day, pretty much the point that we were trying to make is just content over ego, and they're not content, story over ego, right? Like if you're, come on, if you're at war and it's just a never-ending cycle and you're just getting rolled, why let it go on for forever just because you can let it go on? Nah, just end it, dude. Just end it. Create some content. So the current state of the server, I want your guys' opinions on it. Are you guys feeling the burnout? Are you feeling any type of boredness? What's going on? Or are you excited for the next step in the Royal Mafia direction? We'll start off with you, Genies, since we haven't really haven't heard from you.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, am I enjoying the server? Yeah. Am I bored? Some days. It depends on the day, really. But at the end of the day, I feel like if I'm bored, it's also on me to make myself not bored. You know, a lot of people have been talking about how the server is stale or whatever, which in some aspects I can agree with that it can get repetitive, but I mean, as a role player and a player, you know, if I'm bored, the only person I have to blame is me because the possibilities are relatively endless as long as you can be creative. You know, like if we go boosting and selling drugs every day, of course that shit's gonna get boring. I don't want to do that for 12 hours every time I hop on the server. But like the way Reggie sells drugs, you know, he dresses up in that weird ass meat suit thing and he talks about selling the softest meats. And I'm like, that's so fucking weird, but so funny and, you know, interesting. And I know I wouldn't be bored if I was doing that. So like, there's always ways to be creative with it. I definitely think, you know, there are improvements to be made. There always are. Nothing's really perfect at the end of the day, but a lot of the turf system and gang systems have, I want to say, kind of fucked the server over. And also, you know, paid prio makes I think Reggie put out a tweet that explained it really well. You know, the people who are paying for prio are the people who are going to get in all the time, and you know, the people who aren't paying for prio are pretty much never going to get an opportunity to play. So out of the 200 some people in the server, probably 150 of them are going to be the same people playing every day. And then you'll get a rotation of maybe 50 some players that get the random prio and get to actually load in. Um, so I think that also like contributes to the staleness of the
What you talking
server
about, Mafia, huh?
because you know if I'm interacting with straight up Royal Mafia or Mandem or you know the same dozen or so people every day, of course, is not going to keep
It's gonna
things
get
fresh.
boring. It's gonna get stale because it's just repetitive, the same thing over and over again, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, right? For example, you do it perfectly. When there's nothing going on, the Littlemans, fucking really anybody, you can find content anywhere on the server. You just gotta look for it and don't say no.
Yep.
Like, for example, and it leads to perfect. How do I say this? It's a clear cut example of back in the day, right? Like Shivy, you and I didn't talk for like you met me on a character that was named Jay. He was Canadian. Um,
Oh shit, that was you way back in
we
the
met it.
day.
We met a year ago
We met
at
a
Dodo.
Dodo, the old Dodo. I didn't know
Yeah,
that was you.
yeah, that was me.
Okay, I remember that meeting that Canadian dude.
Yeah, just a super pothead, white or blonde haired. You know, it was pretty much a self insert, honestly. But basically, um,
Oh, I'm live right now, just so you
yeah,
know. I don't know if
you're all chilling.
okay.
Everyone,
Yeah, I am
we're
too.
all live, so it's perfect.
Yeah, we're chilling.
But you know, you and I, we had our thing with Lenny. We hung out with Lenny. We hung out with IQ. We hung out with Cooper. I'm surprised that we're not fucking hidden right now, honestly. Um, when Lenny died, you did your own thing, right? I did my own thing. And then somehow, some way, I got a call from Z saying, "Hey, buddy, you know, let's have a chat." I'm like, okay, whatever. Have a chat with him and Tomasi. And then boom, I'm running the fucking deli. Like, okay, what the fuck happened? And then that was kind of like the first night where I got a big raid. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Zuma raided me with like 5,000 viewers. So it was like, holy shit. And it just kind of like boosted my confidence. So I was like, all right, let's run with this for a little bit. Let's see what happens. And then the Zoo Mafia came along, and I don't know how this happened. This is like the weirdest fate in the world. Me, Shivy, and Jugs, or Shivy, Jugs, and I, sorry. Jugs played on Lenny, and then it was Shivy and Bubbles. And we kind of did our boosting, our weed, all this shit. They got caught with meth while I was away the one night. And that's really what made Jugs perma Lenny, was he just had enough. And then, boom, out of fucking nowhere, we're all in the same gang. Again, it was weird.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I wasn't.
You guys don't hear
I
music
didn't-
coming from my mic, right?
No.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Shiv.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of weird how it worked out like that. I guess when I found Zoo Mafia, it was through Patar, because Patar and Zuma and Z and them played on SBS together, I think, back in the day.
Oh, that's right. Or
And,
SSB, SSB.
Yeah, SSB, that's what it was called. And Patar introduced me to Tomasia because they wanted to like rob a Fleeka and they needed a hacker. And Patar like hooked me up with the introduction to them. And then after that, they just wanted to keep robbing banks, so I was like their go-to hacker, and it kind of just fell into place like that.
That's freaking sweet, dude. Honestly. Like, the way that it all ended up was just so weird. Like, we tried to make a connection with, who was it? Zuma and Sid, because the whole Maldini's thing. And that's how we met Sid. Sid said, you know, like, he can offer us this thing with, one sec. He could offer us like this booze service through HNO, and then it really just brought everybody together. And honestly, I was gonna say no to Z about running the deli and shit, but then one of my chatters was like, "Dude, just fucking do it." It was like, I mean, okay. Then we just did it. It was wild.
Yeah, because who was in Zoo Mafia before? It was Shivy, right? Before anybody?
Me and Bubbles pretty much joined like the same time.
We joined 20 minutes apart. They called me about the whole deli thing, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm part of the Pop Roto family now. And then literally like 10 minutes later, we picked up Shivy and took him to the observatory, and then brought him in as well. So it was like Shivy and
What about Reggie?
No,
Reggie came so much later.
Reggie came around the same time you did.
Yeah, you and Reggie, and Kayla were kind of around the same time.
Yeah, because Kayla actually, Sky had a thing for Kayla at the start, and then
that's not a surprise.
Bro, Sky was a man whore.
For real.
100%.
Sky had a thing for everyone.
For real, it was.
He did.
And then Barb, oh my god, I missed that.
Well, I mean, Sidwig is also a man whore. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're both man whores. That's just how they like to
Just
role
horny
play.
bastard. That's all it is.
Okay, that brings me to the next topic. 4.0. Are you guys excited?
I'm personally am, and I hope that the group sticks together over whenever the big change happens.
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't.
I'm staying.
I mean,
it just depends on how much we remember or not.
Oh, I mean, when they did 2.0 to 3.0, all the gangs were still there. Chain Gang was still Chain Gang, Ballers, and Vagos. So all of them were still part of the same gang. They just did an economy wipe.
Yeah, I mean, they said too, like they recommended people to wipe their memories and stuff, but it wasn't.
To restart,
it was more like a recommendation. Right. It wasn't like a force, like you're supposed to forget everything that happened in the past. It's more like, if you want to, the option's there, but you don't have to. It gives you an opportunity
to, carry on, right?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people just carried on.
Yeah, that's like, when it comes down to it, I think a lot of like businesses, a lot of like a lot of the businesses, settle down, stop screaming. I think
Bitch, you want to get out of it? Say hello.
Who the hell let this asshole here?
I don't know. Honestly,
we just had an emotional moment watching the RM video. The what's it called one?
When we come back from getting banned.
Yeah.
sad
Mm,
times, dude. Sad times. We're
it
right now we're
do
just
be.
talking about 4.0 and our opinions with the wipe when it comes. I mean, like I said, I think the businesses, the progression is just kind of like a standstill, essentially. I mean, it's just everyone's pretty bought up. Most of the bigger gangs, bigger groups, they got some businesses that are just money printers at this point. So
Yeah, I have
like
most.
Rami's got money, man. Everybody's got money.
Yeah, more most days. I try to find the positive of it and try to keep myself motivated. But there is
Yo,
days
Glowing
that
Grave,
I
thank
brought
you
it
so
up.
much for the 8 months, baby.
There's like days I don't even want to be around. You know what I mean? Like doing the same. It happens too. That's what's repetitive. Doing the same shit day in and day out. Us being a smaller
Glowing
group, we know
Grave,
we're
you
very limited to
motherfucker.
what we do have, and we try to
So
make the best
pretty.
of what we do
Thank
have.
you.
But there's days that people. I can see why a lot of people will be like, hey, fucking bored. I'm not gonna, fuck this. I'm just gonna go do something else.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, like Shivy said earlier too, there's content in the server. You just gotta find it. But I think a wipe will give everybody that little bit of spark. It'll bring some of the bigger faces back around, and it'll just be. I think it'd be beneficial. But I don't know. I don't even know what
4.0
they're
is probably like a year away minimum. They're definitely
probably.
focused on Red Dead right now. That's what's going to be coming out next, and then they'll probably
Well, he said
get
there was
Red
like
Dead.
he said there was
What's
like one more big update before they're gonna do the Red Dead, and then one big update to GTA, and then 4.0. But he confirmed a few like last week that he confirmed saying that they're already in talks about 4.0, like what they want to accomplish when they get there for that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, either way, Jugs, what are you thinking? What's gonna happen with RM? What are we gonna do? Are we all sticking together? What's your plans?
Well, I think that's gonna. Oh yeah, we'll all stick together. But I think there's gonna be a downtime moment where things are gonna switch up a little bit. I think when the Red Dead comes out, like I'm probably gonna be on Red Dead quite a lot, but I don't think a lot of other people in RM are gonna be able to get on Red Dead. Because it's going to be limited. Well, one, I'm guessing Prio probably transfers over. There's probably not going to be bought Prio, and it's going to be limited player slots. So my mindset was, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but we're going to have to like
Gonna eagle us.
rearrange some things.
Gonna put Steven in charge of Royal Mafia.
You
It's
fucking
about damn
wish.
time.
Yep, someone else is gonna have to run the fort for a little bit.
It's about time. I'm kidding.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's my plan. Like 4.0 comes out, that is like our go-to. Let's fresh start, same level as everybody else. Even though I doubt it's going to be like that.
That's what I'm saying. If there's not like drastic changes, it's just gonna be the same shit, just with an economy wipe.
Yep, but it's still more of a fresh start than we had when we started up Royal Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
When we started up Royal Mafia, everyone was pretty much set. All the businesses were pretty much established that they're around today, and yeah, hopefully those. From what I've heard, a lot of business money printers won't be as effective in 4.0, but who knows? Like Shivy said, it's still a long way away yet. But Red Dead will probably last a year itself. If they do a really good job with the Red Dead, it'll probably last a while. And then 4.0 will be after that. But who knows what 4.0? I think 4.0 is going to be in the guise of another either game mode or even a completely different game, from what I've heard.
What do you mean?
So it wouldn't surprise me if Red Dead was the 4.0. Yeah. Well, from what Coyle said, he was like excited. He was like, it's something fresh. It's something new, something different. Like pointing out like the fact that it's not going to be anything. Well, yeah, that's the other thing. They could be the hardcore server. But what the like? Where every time I hear them talk about hardcore server, I don't like. doesn't sound that hardcore. Do you know what I mean? Like in my eyes, a hardcore server is like a permadeath server. Like
Isn't that what they're doing?
No,
They're making it like super harsh. Like if you do get caught, like saying us, right? You get caught. I don't know. You
Selling
get caught
drugs?
doing a bank or something, right? Something stupid, right? You're running away from the cops. Instead of you going to jail for half hour to an hour, it's like half a day. And if you get caught robbing a bank, you get caught, you're in jail for like 4 days or something. Something like that.
Which sounds horrible in my opinion.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't sound like that's going to be really the next big thing if that's the case. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so criminals are going to be more
Sibs.
like, yeah. Well, the people that are doing crime are going to have to like just not get
Be
caught. Like
smarter.
that is your yeah. But the thing is, how smart can you be doing crime in a video game? You know what I mean? When you've got cops,
you need some margin of failure.
I mean, the mechanics are very clunky in this game, anyways, to start with.
And the fact that cops can just go to a gun scene, get all the bullets, and get blood, and use that DNA to just find the people and then raid them. Like it's I don't know. But like it's very easy to get consequences, but it's very hard to avoid them. Like I don't even know how can you play smart to avoid you get into a shootout. If you get into a gang war, how do you avoid?
You can. It's virtually impossible.
Yeah, you literally wouldn't be able to get into a gang war.
I mean, but that's the thing. If it's a hardcore server, right? You're quite literally. There used to be a server out there called YBN Los Scandalous, where a lot of the YBN guys played. It was a hardcore server. If you got shot in the head, you had to perma your character. But they all play self. They all played fucking self inserts, but that's not the point. The point is, it kept everything fresh constantly. But then again, there's not really an economy you can really build there at that point.
It would baffle me if they went down. It would baffle me if they went down the perma condition route, because it would just have to. The whole viewer base would have to change, because it's a content server. Viewers want to watch their favorite streamer. Not even their favorite streamer. They want to watch their favorite character. If people's characters are going to die on a weekly basis,
well, listen, I mean,
watch?
One of the buddies over here is saying, Master, he's telling me that he also heard that Coil wants to pretty much make a custom city for 4.0. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that's gonna take ages.
I know. I know.
That's what
That could be the case, but let's see.
That's what he was saying. He was saying that for the update. For the update, he wants to take a chunk of the map. It could be anyway. It could literally be downtown by the apartments, whatever. He wants to take a chunk and remove buildings or make buildings with completely MLOs. Like all those buildings are alive. If you know what I mean.
He wants to bring O Block to the server.
Yeah, like one block, like couple of roads and everything. Like you could go inside every building. Everything's interactive. But I guess personally, I see 4.0 coming maybe summer.
Yeah.
Earliest?
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a full year. I think there's gonna be a very big dip, and it's gonna be on that point again, and then 4.0 is gonna hit, and it's just gonna fucking relight everything. There needs to be a big event, because literally right at the end of 2.0 is whenever the East Side Baller Gang and the Chain Gang War happened, right? Like it was right before that everything fucking exploded.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Take some state troopers.
Why are you yawning, old man?
I've been fucking live for 10 hours.
Jesus.
Okay.
You're old, dude.
And I haven't even done his hidden RM thing yet.
No, not yet. Before we left, Steven, I wanted to challenge you personally. I'm starting this off with everybody. I wanted to challenge you to a GTA GeoGuessr game. Are you up for the challenge, sir?
Yeah, we could do that on a one-on-one.
All right. You need the website?
I do. You can just send it to me.
Well, we've only got a few more minutes, so we should definitely start wrapping this up. Jugs.
Specifically 9 more minutes.
What brought you towards... Shivy and I were talking about it. about how, you know, we were a part of like the whole little hidden group, and then you died, so
Mm.
then Shivy kind of went off, did his own thing. I went off, did my own thing, and then out of nowhere, we all just got brought in together again.
It's like,
So
I think it's just luck, wasn't it? It was just coincidence.
but
The whole Zoo Mafia thing.
that's a crazy amount of luck.
Because I didn't even know you were part of Zoo Mafia till the third or fourth day that I met Tomasi. I'm
Really?
pretty sure.
I
the
didn't know
Tomasi
Shivy
stuff
was a part of
happened.
it. I didn't know that Shivy was a part of it until
Did Shivy join
I
after us or before?
Shivy was, so it quite literally went 10 minutes. They called me, brought me in like right away. I didn't even have to fucking do anything. And then we
Mm.
brought Shivy in like 10 minutes later. We met him at the observatory, brought him in. And then literally the next day, we met up about the H&O shit. And this is where we were.
Mm.
It was insane.
It was a weird coincidence. Definitely because the whole Zoo Mafia thing happened very naturally. They just came, like we were outside the old Maldini's place, and he just robbed us.
Oh, that's
What?
right. You guys
Was you a
got
part of
robbed.
that?
No, I wasn't even a part
Yeah.
of it that time.
I remember that happening. That was so I had robbed a couple banks with Zoo Mafia, like before I had joined them, and I was kind of like trying to show them the ropes of NoPixel.
Mm.
And then they went and robbed every single restaurant, like going
For
back to
all the
back to
receipts.
back. And I was like, oh, you guys just fucked up. I was like, you're all about to die now. And I
Oh, I
had to
actually
like
remember that.
explain to them. I had to explain to them like how each of the restaurants are run by gangs, and they just pissed off like pretty much every single big gang. I was like, yeah, you guys are gonna have to deal with that now.
Yeah, because Vinny,
I
think it
remember
was
when Vinny.
Vinny. Yeah, Vinny took Zuma, Tomasi, and shot them all down, and then sent Sid a picture saying, "Yeah, we got them."
Yeah, because we were at Maldini's, you and me, when he got the call and shit. He had pretty much the whole
I hear
chain
you, Ryu. I
gang.
hear you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oops.
The whole chain gang pretty much hunting for this for the individuals who robbed his place.
I remember that because I met them right afterwards. They I literally met them right at the end of that conflict. I met them afterwards. I think it was right after the meeting they had, because whenever they came up to me, so they met me outside a pillbox. I was at like, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my character at that point. I was gonna like kill him or something. I don't know. I had no idea what to do. And then got the phone call, and whenever they came, I'm pretty sure Zuma got a call from Vinny, and he's like, Mr. Vinny, I promise I'll never do it again. It was
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he tried to
crazy.
build after that moment. He tried to build the relationship back with Sid, and that's kind of how we started getting chatted.
Well, yeah, because I remember he goes, I got a guy that works at Maldini's, and he can talk to us about all this H&O stuff. And that was when you and Victor were starting with the whole H&O shit with Hutch.
Yeah.
Because right before then, I also had ties, and I got keys to H&O. So we were like, you and I probably met in Crossing on Sidwig. I can't remember. But it was like right after all the Lenny stuff. And I didn't know you were playing Sid until, I think, fuck, I don't even know. It was a long time. Because I was a part of the whole burger shop stuff.
Yeah, I remember early Sid days. We sit at Maldini's for like like 6 hours or something. Yeah.
Sit me down. It's the whole day. Every person that you come in would just do like fucking playing them songs and chatting to them. It was when Maldini's you used to work there for 6 hours and have like over 100 odd customers.
Yeah.
You made a lot more money back in the day than you do now, though.
Well,
Maldini's,
yeah,
no.
No, you don't. Yeah,
Really?
I was gonna say compared
Back
to
in
the
the
economy.
back in the day, you would make a receipt for every sale. So if the
Yeah, that's
restaurant
right.
was slow, you
That's
wouldn't
right.
make any money.
True, but
Okay.
they were always
no,
popping.
That was only in Burger Shop. That wasn't a other restaurant thing.
It wasn't?
Oh, really?
No,
No,
it was
no.
it was only Maldini's
Oh my God,
and
I had
Ooh
no
and all
idea.
them when they first came out. It was on a timer. It wasn't like, someone bought something, we got a receipt. No, that's how I remember when I played on Green for a little bit. That's how Burger Shop was.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought that was all of them.
Mm-mm.
That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
when the servers,
I made
when the
bank on
servers like
Burger
come
Shot,
out,
dude.
it's good to make money doing the civilian jobs. Like when 3.0 first come out, like Lenny was like one of the richest people in the city for like the first 3 months of the city's lifespan, because I used to just sit working at Burger Shot all the time. I used to be there
'Cause it
for
was-
ages. I was doing like 15-hour streams a day.
Yeah, I used to do that too. It was wild.
It was passive income just
Hey,
sitting there.
listen, those will be coming
Yeah.
back here soon when I'm done school, y'all. Whew.
Yeah, cap.
Shut up. Shut up.
Mm.
Well, we should probably get ready for this game night soon.
No one's in there yet, so I guess Royal Mafia will roll in there on time,
I guess so.
and Hidden will probably be like 4 hours late or some shit.
Actually, we can all get in this GeoGuessr if you guys want.